I was 22 years old at the time. Me and my girlfriend were on vacation in America. We both wanted to do a road trip as we thought it would first of all prove how much we are made for each other by locking ourselves in a metal tin for many days. And it would be quite stress relieving and relaxing driving out on the open roads, especially with someone I got along with so well. My girlfriend in my eyes was honestly amazing, such a genuine, sweet and caring person. We had been together for a year and a half at the time. Anyway, as I was explaining, we were planning on doing a road trip across America when she suggested about doing Route 66. I thought that was an amazing idea, and we planned on doing just that. The following week, we flew into Chicago and hired a car for the upcoming road trip in which we planned to drive from Chicago down to California on Route 66. The time we landed was around 7 PM and it was already starting to become sunset. My girlfriend and I was already starting to feel tired, and I knew we wouldn't be able to get much of this long drive ahead of us completed tonight. And we was already planning our first rest stop to make sure we were fully recharged for the following long days ahead. We knew that this trip would take about 3 weeks in total to complete, and was already prepared for our many diverse weather conditions that we would probably experience in our time on the road. However, the night we arrived in Chicago, it was lovely, warm and honestly the most perfect conditions we could ask for. A very solid start to the trip. At around 3 hours into the drive, we found a nearby motel in which we would spend one night to fully recharge and then get straight back on the road in the next morning. The stay was normal enough, just an average motel really. We got straight back on the road the next morning. A few days into the trip however, something strange happened. It was night time and me and my girlfriend were driving on the road looking for a place we could stop for an hour, have a rest and eat some snacks we had bought early in the day to aid us on our growing hunger pains. It was peaceful, to be completely honest, being out on the open road at night with no cars in sight. We almost resorted to pulling over at the side of the road and having a rest there, as we could not find sufficient rest stop whatsoever. I pulled up at the side of the road and my girlfriend reached into the back of the car and pulled out a bag of crisps and a sandwich which she had purchased earlier. We did really want to stop off at a diner at some point in this trip, as you cannot beat an old-timey American diner. However, the only food place we had seen tonight on the open road was a closed cafe which honestly looked abandoned, so I had no clue if it was even operational anymore. I didn't notice it before, but I saw a car further down the road, pulled up just like we were. It had its lights off, and the lights in the car also locked off too. I figured someone had stopped there and was taking a quick power nap or something. I forgot to mention, but that day was very strange so far. We hadn't even seen another car on the road all day, so this was the first. We ate our food and I suggested having a little rest at the car further down the road. However, my girlfriend went against that. She said she felt uneasy and didn't want to stop here. I understand how she felt. I mean, we were literally in the middle of nowhere, and this mysterious car in cold and dark conditions parked further away from us. I decided that we would just drive for a little bit longer and find a spot further down the road. I put the car in drive and slowly passed the other car and tried to get a look inside, but I couldn't see very clearly as the car was in complete darkness. However, I did notice too, and my girlfriend did, that no one was in the car. It was sure a strange sight to see, as who would leave their car out here? Where would they even go? I chalked it up to someone going out the car to go for a piss or something, but still, a single person doing a road trip by themselves? And where would they even go for it? Like, anyway, we never saw anyone come and go from that car when we were parked up. Maybe the driver had broken down and had returned somewhere else. Either way, we didn't think much of it, and eventually parked further up on the road somewhere else. We rested there. However, a few nights later, we were in the same situation of looking for somewhere to stop for the night. I was especially really tired this day. After all this driving, it was sure tiring me out. We came across a gas station on the right hand side of the road. We pulled in, however the place also looked abandoned. All the petrol pumps had been removed. Despite it being abandoned, however, we still stopped here for the night as it was the only rest area we had seen in 2 hours and we desperately needed a rest. I fell asleep with ease, but I'm not too sure about my girlfriend. However, I did wake up and check my phone. 2 AM it said. I had been asleep for about an hour. I looked over at my girlfriend who was asleep too. I knew something must have woken me. I looked around the empty gas station and noticed something. The door to the place had been opened, busted open from what I could see from here anyway. I didn't notice earlier, however, I thought it was closed. Maybe my tiredness and lack of sleep was making me forget things or just not pay attention to things. Maybe I was dreaming it, or for all I knew I could just be in some sort of hallucination. I was about to go back to sleep when I realised there was another car parked at the other end of the gas station. Its lights were on, however, and it was running. My heart sank as I realised it was the same car from the previous night that had been abandoned at the side of the road. I knew it too as I recognised the licence plate. Then, at the passenger window, where my girlfriend was, a man banged on the window, startling me and my girlfriend. She let out a blood-curdling scream. The man was in full black and wore a hood over his head. All I could see was his eyes and a long, unkempt beard. He looked deranged and mentally unwell, like some homeless person you'd find on the street. I put my foot on the gas and floored it out of there. The man kicked at the back of my car as I sped off, as we both heard a loud bang, the sound of a gun. This sicko was shooting at us. We sped off in the distance down the road, our hearts pounding. I was frantically steering all over the place, and due to my sheer panic, suddenly, I kid you not, my car started shaking and swerving all over the place as well. My tyre had been shot and I lost it. I was forced to pull over. We were barely any distance away from the gas station. We also knew that man had a car. And to my horror, the thing I didn't want to happen, it did. He pulled out of the gas station and towards us. My girlfriend suggested we book it out of there, but exclaimed, "Where are we meant to go?" Like I said, we were literally in the middle of nowhere. Even if we ran, this idiot would have shot us. The car slowed down behind us and was about to park up. I knew I had to protect myself and my girlfriend at all costs. I was about to have the fight of my life, I thought. But then, the car put his foot down and went speeding past us into the night ahead. I wondered what had changed his mind. Then I saw. It must have been a miracle. A tow truck was pulling up behind us. I got out and literally threw myself at the man, thanking him. He stated how he saw us pulling out the gas station a few miles down the road and he heard the sound of a gunshot. He also claimed to have seen the man with the gun get back into the car and chase after us. That's when we knew we was in trouble, and came to assist us. He towed our car to the nearest garage and got our tyre fixed, and we went on our way. The rest of the trip was fine and no more problems, however, that may have still been the scariest occurrence to ever happen in my life. The fact we were mere seconds away from death, had it not been for that tow truck, I would have died. I can't believe some random man would one day save my life. I never phoned the police. Honestly thought it was useless at that point. Like, what would they do? However, there are some questions about that man which never got answered. Where was he originally when we first saw the car? Why did he chase us down and follow us? What did we do? What were we to him? And what was he doing in that gas station that night? These are many questions to which will never be answered.